Anyway, I'm Cheesymanfredo, and this is Perplexed Cam, also known as Cam. And today we're going to talk about Dragon Quest, your story. And
your story.
Your story. It's about you, and your story is a very pathetic story. It's a very lame story. You're a fucking nerd. You're a weirdo. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're a gamer. No. This is about gamers. This is about a movie about gamers and gamer
It's about
life.
selling. It's about selling your soul to a corporation. You know.
Exactly. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like it's pretty much like that. Like it's okay. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Right. Yeah. So I guess
you might. Mm-hmm.
I guess before we start, what did you when did you hear about the Dragon Quest movie? Did you see like the first trailers that were like just in Japanese when it dropped?
I just thought that it was a movie from Japan, and I thought that okay, so they're just like okay, it looks like a pretty generic at first hand. I've only known Dragon Quest like very recently.
Yeah, same here actually.
Mm-hmm. I hate to say this, but maybe the reason I got into Dragon Quest was because of the Smash Brothers reveal.
I mean,
the Smash Brothers. That's
not too bad. A lot of people didn't know what Dragon Quest was when they announced the hero character for Smash Bros.
Yeah, it's so this is coming from a guy that's a newbie in Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
To prepare for Dragon Quest DLC coming up, because I was really into the character of Hero, I decided to play a ROM version of an English version of Dragon Quest 3. And that's basically my first experience with Dragon Quest. I played because that's where many people told me that that's the defining game in the series because it changed so much, and it's like the staple, like a lot of the things that are referenced throughout the entire series comes from that.
From Dragon Quest 3. I haven't played that one. I actually played the one the movie's based on. Which is, I think
Dragon
it's
Quest 5.
7?
No, it's 5.
Dragon Quest 5?
Yeah.
Wait, is it 5? I thought it was 7. Hold up.
No, it's 5.
I swear it's like... Wait.
It has like the purple turban.
Yeah,
kid.
It's got... Oh, damn, you're right. It is 5. I'm a buffoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're a clown.
I'm a clown. Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually played that one for the DS. It was like the second remake, right?
Yeah,
and
it's like I assume that there's like a remake for.
There's a remake for PS2, and then there's a remake for DS, and I played the one for DS because it was like in 2018 when I was like to one of my friends like, hey, I kind of want to play a Dragon Quest game. And so my friend let me borrow like the only copy he had, which was 5 for the DS. And then I started playing it, and I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't want to play Dragon Quest. I just want to see what the monsters look like. Because all the monsters in Dragon Quest have like really good designs. Like I have a Dragon Quest art book, and I love looking at it.
They do have that classic... rounder shaped Akira Toriyama style that it was born in the 80s.
It is Akira Toriyama, you know. It's just he's just really good at character design, right?
No, definitely. He is like very good in many in like he's like to me peak Toriyama is the 80s 90s Toriyama. No,
I agree. I don't really like how he draws now. His characters look too skinny.
They look too skinny. They look too geometrical. They feel. No, it's just
the line weight is like too thin. Like his.
Yeah.
And when it's like in digital color, it looks so obvious how thin his like line weight is. It's kind of makes you a little sad, but anyway.
No, definitely.
Anyway, Akira Toriyama is a good at designing, and like the biggest evidence, like one of his best designs is like the slime. Like that's like one of the best looking monsters out there. It's so iconic. It's so simple. But after watching Dragon Quest Your Story, I kind of don't like the slime anymore.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
I kind of see the slime as like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
You know how like Mickey Mouse is like kind of a mascot for an evil corporation. Well, that's what the slime feels like to me now.
Oh, definitely. I can relate to that. Again, I don't like Disney and a lot of its practices. I think they make good movies, but sometimes
it's just
but
it's just this whole kind of like thing with Dragon Quest Your Story. It's this selling your soul kind of. It's like selling your soul to a corporation, which is kind of like very very gross and nasty. And a lot of like what's kind of weird is like a lot of people didn't like this movie, right? It doesn't have any really good reviews, right? But the main reason why no one really likes this movie is because it didn't follow the story of Dragon Quest V like accurately, which is kind of like, what was that?
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of people didn't like the movie because it just wasn't like a 1-for-1 recreation of Dragon Quest V, and I played Dragon Quest V. Like I was like in the middle of playing it when the trailer dropped, so it was like a big coincidence. But to tell you the truth, the story of Dragon Quest V is kind of very generic. Like I've seen it done a million times before. It's like nothing new,
From what I know, like the idea of the Dragon Quest V, if that's at least the I haven't played Dragon Quest V. I've played only Dragon Quest 3 and 11 as definitive edition for the Nintendo Switch. I just don't. I don't think their stories are the least are my least favorite things about them.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone really plays Dragon Quest for the story, because they're just so generic.
Yeah,
like medieval fantasy. Like I mean,
exactly.
It's
Chosen One. I don't like.
I mean, they're like the
story.
Yeah, but I don't like Chosen One stories either. Like they're kind of like the granddaddy of all the JRPGs, Like all the isekais are like based off of Dragon's Quest, right?
Oh no!
Yeah, classics. Okay, so that being said, I was playing Dragon Quest V, and coincidentally, the trailer drops for Dragon Quest Your Story, which is based on Dragon Quest V, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it looked great. I thought the movie looked really cool, And that kind of made me kind of want to finish playing the game because I kind of paused to focus back on my comic. But then I saw the trailer and I'm like, well, maybe I should go back and finish the game, right? I mean, I borrowed the game too, so I like to always like finish everything I borrow from people, because I feel like that's like less douchey if I do that, right?
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean.
Yeah, it's okay. So anyway, so yeah, that's like my only connection with the Dragon Quest games. So then the movie dropped. I think in it said 2019, but I think I saw the movie back in January. Like it dropped on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I think it dropped around that time in January. Before the great pandemic. But that's
well, it was way before back in the day when Dragon Quest Your Story was like the only thing we had to worry about.
Exactly. What was it? Was it December or January?
Actually,
I don't remember.
Okay, I think it released in America on Netflix in February, right? But,
okay.
But it released in Japan. It released in Japan 2019 August.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that sounds okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I finally saw it. Well, we both finally saw it. And I saw Perplexed Cam's like he did like a little tweet thread about his opinions about the movie, and I shared very similar opinions to him, and he was like the only person that I knew that had similar opinions to what I had, because like as I mentioned earlier, like people disliked the movie, but not for the same reasons I disliked them, and not for the same reasons me and Perplexed Cam disliked the movie. right?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like everyone wanted just a straightforward Dragon Quest movie, which is kind of ironic because that's kind of like what the movie's about. You know, it's kind of like about someone who wants a straightforward Dragon Quest movie, right? Like the whole your story part is like very meta when you watch the movie, right? So I guess we could.
It's just the meta thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about the actual movie. By the way, there's gonna be spoilers, you know. So
the spoilers, even I want to make this clear. Even if we think that's a bad movie, I totally recommend people watching it to the end.
Yeah, I think
because that twist is an experience.
Oh yeah, that twist is an experience. That twist felt like the real movie, you know, because the whole movie just feels like really good cutscenes.
Exactly, they're pretty much like cutscenes.
Yeah, the whole movie's cutscenes.
Cutscenes of a game that you can play, but apparently. I don't get that. I don't get that. What's the point of adapting something to a T if you can't just experience it in a video game?
I mean,
especially knowing how similar video games and movies are in terms of audio visuals.
I feel like this. Yeah. I mean, they could have been. There's like 3 routes they could have done. They could have like just made like an anime. I feel like that's what people would have just wanted. They would have just wanted an anime version of Dragon Quest V, right?
Yeah.
Or they could have just remade the game for the 3rd time, bring it to like Switch. You could probably buy it off of like the Switch store, right?
Yeah, remake it sounds like the best option.
Right, just remake it for like the 5th, 4th time. You know, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, nobody cares.
Well,
like, yeah.
Or if they were to make it, if they were. I feel like the problem with the movie that it wasn't meta enough, you know? It should have been...
Yeah.
Have you seen the Lego movie?
Yeah, I've seen the Lego movie. I think
the Lego movie. The Lego movie is great. The Dragon Quest movie feels like if the Lego movie was done wrong.
Oh, kind of like that, yeah. I can see what you mean.
Because I mean, with the Lego movie, it's not really a celebration about Legos. It's a celebration about creativity, right?
Yeah,
like
it's a celebration of having like something to create out of basically, and it goes against the whole narrative of being the chosen one. That we've seen like in decades prior, like even the Harry Potter movies are very very chosen one if you wanna
I don't
call them like that.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with the chosen one narrative, and Dragon Quest Your Story is like a chosen one narrative, right? I mean it is. I mean it's like it feels like because so in the movie, like our main character who's named Luca. He thinks he's like the chosen one for like a second, but then it turns out that his son is the chosen one. But like the way the movie presents everything, it's like at the end of the day, Luca is still the chosen one, right?
He's still the hero. But he's chosen one because of different reasons. Because he's literally the protagonist.
He's a chosen one because he's like the main character. Like within the story wise, he's not technically the chosen one. His son is. But like the way the movie presents him, he's the chosen one. Like it doesn't matter if his son is the real chosen one. He's technically the chosen one, right?
Yeah, I kinda, but I think that's kinda interesting in at least in Dragon Quest V because it's not giving us the perspective of the real chosen one. It's like a person that has to find such a chosen one, and it just happened to be his son, and I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that. It's nothing super revolutionary at all.
I mean, like it was probably revolutionary when it came out in 1992. Like they were probably blowing their loads when it's like, whoa, you're not the chosen one. Your son's the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah.
That's probably when it would seem crazy. But when something like revolutionary like is done to death over and over again, and it's like, well, that's not impressive anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like the
It's
problem
not.
with like remaking very old properties that have like cliches that people are just bored of, you know?
Yeah. It's like I think I've seen a video that brings a very interesting topic on the matter. Like being nostalgic for the 80s. It's something, but then you're risking bringing certain types of behaviors from the 80s that should probably stay. So no, I can definitely see like I've seen like an interesting take on the matter that when people like fantasize about certain decades, they are also and they're also risking bringing certain attitudes or behaviors that should have been stayed in the past. Like when people fantasize over the 50s. But like fantasizing over the 50s is like fantasizing also for segregation, the oppression of women, stuff like that.
Yeah, I got you. There's kind of something like that in Dragon Quest with the whole you have to be this specific bloodline to like stop the bad guy, you know? Like I never liked that. That's so fucking eugenicsy. Like, oh, only the pure blonde and yellow-eyed people could stop the evil monster guy.
Exactly, and it's the purest, most brightest, yellowish eye guy.
I mean, like that kind of makes sense for Akira Toriyama because he has like the Super Saiyans with their blue eyes and blonde hair, you know.
Yeah. Although that's more of a reason for the what is he was just tired of filling Goku's hair. That's it.
Oh yeah, I mean I know the story. I'm not saying he's a racist. It's just kind of funny like that. If you look at the Dragon Quest V, like what is how your son looks like in the game, he looks like Goku.
He looks like Gohan.
Does he?
Kind of looks like Gohan, Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
In Super Saiyan form.
I don't know. To me, that hair screams more Goku than Gohan.
I think it's the ponytail.
It probably is the Gohan. Yeah. He do be having a ponytail though. Okay, so anyway, I got a couple of notes that I made about the movie, and I know you do too.
I did. I did a couple of notes.
So like we said earlier, the movie's just a cutscene. Like the movie has like, the movie feels like bullet points of a story, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine if like a little kid was describing to you like a movie, and the little kid is not gonna like understand like emotional complexities or like how relationships build and stuff like that. He's just gonna tell you what happens,
absolutely.
Right. So that's what the movie feels like. It feels like the most gorgeous, good-looking CGI cutscenes you ever seen, but it's being told by like a 5-year-old or something because it's just like bullet points.
It doesn't take that. I mean, it does time skip a lot, and it does time skip a lot, and there's some
that happens in the game.
Good storytelling points. That happens in the game. No, I'm not saying, but like I don't think even if it was a game, it would be like more interesting. But I've seen like better narratives taking advantage of constant time skips than this. It's that makes that are the time skips are way more complex.
The time skip in the movies are just more about getting to an event, right? The movie is like spoilers, but the movie is like a speed run. You know, that's what it feels like.
Absolutely, it's your story speedrun.
He's speedrunning Dragon Quest V.
Yeah, your story.
Your story as you speedrun.
Yeah.
I mean, like
speedrun a movie.
I mean, like I said, like it just feels like cutscenes and like everything that like they bring up kind of like certain emotional dilemmas or like relationships and stuff like that, but they don't really feel earned. They feel more
really
like
surface level.
What was that?
They're very surface level, you know.
Yeah, it's very surface level, right? Like there was one part. So like So our main character, after like he escaped slavery because he was like a slave for a minute. He was only like a slave for like 2 minutes, right? With him and that one kid, and there was a time skip, and they're adults in slavery, right?
Yeah. But it was like 10 years, like and not only that, there's a small bit of dialogue that just infuriate me rewatching this movie again. And it's like it was like the prince character, I don't know, Prince Harry. He says, "We've been here for 10 years. Don't you know the situation of our lives for
Oh yeah,
for the
that's
past 10
exposition.
years?" Yeah, the exposition. It's the most blandest dialogue that you can make. Whatever.
Oh.
It's like, don't you know?
Oh my
We've
god,
been
you know
here
that
for
kind
10
of
years.
that kind of makes sense with the plot twist, him giving him exposition, because
Yeah.
we'll talk about it later. But I'm gonna write that down because I do want to talk about the weird little subtle moments that lead up to the plot twist.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
but
No,
any,
no.
but
There's
anyway,
something I want to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
I just want to say something about the real beginning, it's showing us like the pictures of the game,
Oh yeah, it shows like the literal video game.
Yeah, the little video game, and it's like goes so fast, and it's like really bits of pieces, and it's like, okay, it's just trying to make a obvious connection to the Dragon Quest game. Which I think it's fine. Like, they're trying to say this is a faithful recreation. This is a faithful recreation, and all that stuff. Like, trying to please the audience. But it's like, do you make like these jumps in time, and apparently these characters that you meet, like characters like Bianca and Nira, whatever you want to call them, these girls,
they just
appear in those.
They just show up like, hey, I'm Nira, hey, I'm Bianca, and then they just disappear until we need them back again, right?
Exactly, and it's never it's just like, I get it. It's probably like a 15-hour game, and you can't shove that into 1 hour and a half. But it's not shown in any interesting way. It's just there because they because it's not a necessity to introduce the setup, rather than actually integrate it and using the power of filmmaking to integrate it into a film.
Yeah, they could have just been actual scenes instead of pixel sprites.
Yeah.
They were probably just trying to save money. It was probably cheaper to just animate like if we animated in pixel sprites like the beginning, we could get this out of the way really quickly. Even like the whole film is like very I would have been fine if just like the intro was very quick, but the whole film is just quick. I think the slowest part of the movie is like the middle, where he has to stop Bjorn, like the monster, and he has to win Nera's hand in marriage. Yeah. Right, like that's like probably the slowest. Like that's like the most they ever focused on something, right?
Yeah, it's the most. It's the pay. It's because they take their time to introduce like a conflict in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it is a movie that has like 1,000 conflicts because it's based on a video game with massive amounts of quests.
They skipped over a lot of things. Okay, one character that wasn't included that I was kind of mad that wasn't in the game was So in the DS remake of the game, there's actually a third option for you to get married, and it's this girl right here. Her name's Deborah.
Deborah Briscoletti?
Yeah, Deborah Briscoletti. Right?
Huh.
She's like a third option, and she's the one I picked for the DS remake, right? She wasn't in the original or in the PS2 remake, right? So the movie's more based on those. Because there's a part where they reference like the PS2 remake. They never reference like the Nintendo DS remake, which I thought was kind of weird. But I guess they just didn't want to bring up that like they just didn't have Deborah there. Anyway, like I love Deborah. Deborah was like my favorite wife from all the ones to choose. Like Bianca. Actually, if there's one thing I like about the movie is I think Nera and Bianca look way better in the movie than they look like in the game. I mean, nothing against Akira Toriyama's art style, because I do love it. But, like, I don't know, just something about Nera and Bianca. Wait, in Dragon Quest Your Story just looked very good to me. Even though Bianca looks like she looks like that one girl from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, doesn't she? What's
she does.
What's her name?
Well,
her
what's
name
the
is like
original?
What was that?
Astrid, yeah.
Yeah, her name is Astrid. Like she looks like Astrid. You ever seen her original design? Bianca's.
No, I haven't seen any of them. I'm pretty blind to Dragon Quest V.
Oh yeah, she looks like an Akira Toriyama girl, right? Like she just looks like an Akira Toriyama girl, right?
Yeah, that again, that's Bulma with blonde hair.
Yeah, it's like Bulma, right? But then in the movie, they kind of gave her a little bit more personality. Her hair kind of like goes up a little bit. She looks like more well kept, like in the original design. But here she kind of has some feathers. One in the movie, she's kind of a different character because in the game she's more kind of like a tag-along. She's not really a warrior. But in the movie, they kind of made her kind of like an adventurer, you know.
Yeah.
So like I guess it's like a different character. I mean, I like Bianca in the movie. I just wish, just like everybody else, I wish they were all just more developed, you know.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but speaking of like stuff that isn't developed, there's one scene, I don't know if you remember this, but there was one scene after he leaves, like after him and like Prince Harry, and they were both slaves, after they make it back to Prince Harry's kingdom, Luca goes back to like his home, his like hometown, and he goes inside his house, and he meets like his old butler, right?
Yeah, Pancho.
Yeah, Pancho, right? And there's like and there's like a moment where like Pancho's all like, "Oh, you're the chosen one. You got to go save your mom." And then Luca out of nowhere is like, "Oh, but like, can I really save my mom?" Like he suddenly has doubts now. And then in the next second he doesn't have doubts anymore. Like he just brings it up out of nowhere. Like, "Oh, I don't know. Can I really save my mom?"
And it's the dialogue is so. The dialogue is so. It's so.
The majority of the dialogue is like
bland.
that. They'll mention like for example, like the whole part where he says like, can I really save my mom just like my dad was trying. Like I feel like there could have been this whole kind of like for people who are listening, they might cringe a little, but like there could be this whole toxic masculinity kind of angle they could have gone with, right? Uh-huh. So let's say, like, for example, so Luca's father, Pancras, right? Like, he dies...
Pancreas, yeah.
Like, Pancreas. He dies, like, at, like, towards, like, the first 10 minutes of the movie, he, like, dies, right? Because he gets killed by, dies. Like, the evil wizard, right?
Exactly. Uh-huh.
And Luca couldn't do anything, because he's, like, literally just, like, an 8-year-old boy, right? Like, he can't do nothing to save his father, right? And they could have, maybe if they wanted to do this whole thing of where he's doubting his own strength, they could have just have him feel that he feels like he was responsible for his father's death because he wasn't strong enough, right?
No, definitely.
They could have done something like that.
Uh-huh.
And,
they could have given him more of a conflict. The thing, I'm not as put off as I wanted to say that I'm not that put off about the dialogue in Dragon Quest as some people might be. It's because I do feel that Dragon Quest direction is very goofy in its performance.
It is very goofy. Like
so I don't mind as much. Like I sometimes just cringe at some times at some of the
dialogue,
the lines. Yeah, some of the dialogues, like I think Bjorn says it's barbecue time, and I'm
yeah. Like, okay, so I watch both the dub version and the sub version, right? I seen both.
Yeah.
And like both of them have very cringy lines, right? Yeah. Like there's the whole "it's barbecue time" line, right? And later on, there's like a line that's sub that Bianca says to Bjorn, where like I think it was right after the barbecue line where she says like, in the sub she says, "Well, I prefer a salad," as like a comeback, right?
Oh damn!
And it's like, like I don't remember the cringy dialogue in the game, but okay, the game was a little bit more straightforward. Actually, there's like another Okay, so in the game, like they rewrote the story, so the monster Bjorn actually shows up after Luca is like cured of being like a stone statue. Mm-hmm. So like, okay, for the audience, there's a part where Luca is turned into a stone statue, and then like years pass by, and then they use a magic spell to like unstone him, right? And in the game, like after he gets unstoned, that's when you have to like fight. They have to fight Bjorn, right? But in the movie, they brought Bjorn like towards like the middle of the game, right? And I mean, I get why they did that. That kind of makes more sense. But the thing is, like, why do they need to fight Bjorn? Because he kind of just stays in his cave. He doesn't seem to like. He only attacks people who come to him, right? And in the
I think it's just to introduce the I think it's just to give a conflict. They need the Scythian sword, and so they need the Scythian sword. So they need the it's just a conflict that it's just a conflict that it's an obstacle that puts up a conflict and introduces the wife mechanic into the movie.
The wife mechanic in the movie.
Yeah, there's a wife mechanic. I love calling it that.
Yeah, I love it too. We should call it that. The wife mechanic in the movie. More movies need wife mechanics.
Exactly.
Oh god.
My wife.
But
I never watched Borat, but I just know that
me neither. But like, you know, this is a fucking meme.
They
right?
just constantly they just fucking.
But okay, so anyway,
just problem.
Anyway, like basically, like I mean, they I like how they rewrote it, but at the same time, they made the movie like 10 times more cliche. You know, like defeat the monster and you can have my daughter as your wife, right? And speaking of which,
that didn't happen in the game. That didn't happen in the game.
In the game, I'm trying to remember what happens. I mean, I think you have to. He sends you like on a quest to go get something, right? Like he doesn't make you fight a monster. I think you go get something, and on the way there, you fight like a boss that isn't in the movie, right? And then you get to ask like either Nara or Bianca, or in the DS remake, Deborah, for their hand in marriage, right? And I mean, I picked Deborah because Deborah actually has a personality. Like Bianca and Nara don't really have personalities in the game, right? They're just women, you know. They're just wives, you know. Like like in the game, like that's why I wish Deborah was in the movie, because like Deborah's kind of like this, like she's a little bitchy, she's like kind of spoiled, but something about that made me very attracted to her, right? Because like she had a personality. None of the other characters seem to have one. Anyway,
just like generic.
They were generic girls, right? They were just generic girls.
So they peppy. They're at least peppy, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least in Dragon Quest Your Story, they gave them like a personality. But anyway, speaking of which, was it just me or that one scene where like Bianca like cucks herself, where she tells like Luca to like, oh, you got to go propose to Nara because you defeated Bjorn, right?
No, it's at the. Oh wait, doesn't Nara cuck herself or? Well, like
Nara like cucks herself, like they cuck each other, but okay. Luca ends up with Bianca. Anyway, what I'm saying was like when I first watched it, I thought that Bianca was gonna ask Nara for her hand in marriage. I thought they were gonna go with the lesbian route.
Oh, okay.
They should have done that. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like Bianca was gonna say like, Luca, if you don't propose to Nara, I will, because she technically also defeated Bjorn, right?
Yeah.
So she has like they could like 50-50 like split Nara, you know?
Yeah, it would be nice to have go lesbians, but it's
if they went lesbians, it would have been 10 times better, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. That's just a fact, an objective fact,
an objective
about
fact.
filmmaking.
You just, like if if you remake old stories and then you add lesbians, it's like 10 times better.
Exactly. So.
Well, okay, but let's talk about. You want to talk about? Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I just want to say about the aesthetics of the movie that I like. Okay. I will disagree with you in this. I don't think that the I mean again, I don't come from the experience of playing the game, but I do not think that the character design, at least on the humans, is very at least intriguing for me. I never thought that. But damn, the monsters are like still like that. They have that Toriyama charm.
Oh yeah, the monsters are very Toriyama. Like the slime doesn't really look that different. He just looks a little bit more like transparent looking, right?
Yeah, and I think also the eyes are not as dead.
He has pupils. He has like what was it called? The color part of your eye. What is it called?
Yeah, it has like a.
Well, the slimes have color in their eye now. Like they're not just pupils now.
Yeah, exactly. They're not just the pupil, the black pupil. Okay, so should we? Okay, watching a second time. Like I like a lot of the. Also, I like a lot of the exaggerated movements. Like noticing watching it a second time. I noticed this is like I do enjoy that direction that the movement also that the movement style is also like fitting of the direction of Dragon Quest being really goofy. Like I like the how some I like how Luca poses himself when he defeated and has like that really generic anime pose of having his hand behind his head. I like there's the gun. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say there's moments where it feels like kind of generic anime. There's moments that feel kind of little like they're trying to do like a Pixar kind of thing with the way the characters move. There's moments where they'd be standing still and then they suddenly like move, like their little movement is like exaggerated, right?
Yeah,
like a cartoon.
There's like, they're like a cartoon, and I think that's very fitting of Dragon Quest. At least the aesthetic it goes. So yeah.
Although to be honest, I think that kind of clashes with. I feel like the movie looks a little bit too realistic. Mm-hmm. Like it looks good, but I feel like when they do like the more exaggerated movements, it's like how realistic characters look, and then they do the exaggerated movements, just looks a little bit off to me, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Because like I don't know, that kind of like something about it kind of bothered me. What kind of bothered me was like how sometimes they would do like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah, they did a Dragon. They had a Dragon Ball Z fight.
They had a Dragon Ball Z fight like at like the very end, like they were just throwing each other to the towers. It was a fucking Dragon Ball Z fight, and it was just like swords and sorcery kind of shit. Yeah,
and they just go ballistic. Regarding it does. I think that it tries to be a little bit too realistic. Like, oh no, it's the but again, I think it has to do again with that with not only the ending that we're gonna talk about, but also I guess you gotta make it realistic because it's like a 3D movie, and we're trying to and that's basically what most people do whenever they do CGI movies. They try to do the better renders as possible. They have to be spotless. There should not be a difference between this reality and the reality we're making in the computer. That's basically. I mean, that's basically what I feel about a lot of CGI animation. I mean, Japan is like getting to the point where the CGI animation is looking like way better, right? But they're falling for kind of like the same mistake that Pixar is doing, where like Pixar tries to be more realistic, when like the better CGI movies are the ones that are more like they have a style, you know, like Into the Spider-Verse, right? The Spider-Verse is a very good movie. I wanna clarify that it's a very good movie.
Oh yeah, you know, hot take: Spider-Verse is a good movie. Anyway,
Yeah. I just want to clarify that, and I don't care.
Cloudy with a Chance of
Oh.
Meatballs is a good movie too.
Yeah.
That I feel like they were kind of going for something like that in Dragon Quest Your Story. Like the way they kind of like exaggerated and was more cartoony, kind of felt a little bit Cloudy like a Chance with Meatball. But the thing is, like in Cloudy with a Chance, the characters look very cartoony. Like in Dragon Quest, they look a little too realistic, and it's all like, well, maybe if they dialed like the spectrum, and the spectrum is like the Kira Toriyama style and realistic CGI. Maybe if they dialed the spectrum a little bit closer to Akira Toriyama, I would have like the little cartoony exaggerations wouldn't look so off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I understand what you. It's something I noticed as well. It's yeah, it's something I noticed as well.
Okay, wait. I want to. Yeah, go on.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah, I don't. I think that I think that the only creative shots are like the ones where they play with color. Like I think that my only favorite shot in the entire series, in the entire movie, is when he's running from like golems in the desert, and that's like.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Actually like. That looked good. I like that. I like the movement of everything. I like the little composition with the golems and look at running. It's just really
it should have been more like it should have been more aesthetically pleasing, more stylistic. I feel like, I mean, at the same time, this movie was kind of feel like it was kind of pumped out that they could have a movie, you know, and you could tell by the way it just feels like a cutscene, you know. I wanted to mention something. You know what scene I thought was really funny but felt very unintentionally funny? Was the scene?
Which one?
Was the scene where a pancreas dies?
Oh yeah,
that was pretty funny because he was just standing there and then a fireball hits him out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, Luca, please,
Luca.
Listen.
Yeah, he's just standing there looking at his dad, and then he gets fucking obliterated. He gets the fucking Frieza energy ball thrown at him.
Yeah, I think it's the framing of the.
Yeah, there's some shots that just feel kind of like weird, like that shot which came out very unintentionally funny, but there's also that one shot where after Luca comes back from having dinner with the Briscolettis and he goes to the bar, and Bianca is like super drunk. Like they stay on them. The shot stays on them like just standing by the door the whole time. Like there's a part where Bianca turns around and says like, "Hey guys, it's a legendary hero," right? But we stay on that same shot for some reason, right? Which is so weird. Like in another in another movie, they probably would have cut to people cheering. Right, but it just stays on them for like for a little bit too long. I feel it just feels so weird.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I think I know what you're referring, but I didn't think that was like the big of a deal. I thought that just a lot of the compositions in the movie are very straightforward. Like again, it's very generic storytelling in a movie, especially in an animated one.
Right.
I just I never it feels like it's just giving you the story. It's not playing with anything. It's nothing too crazy or experiment with anything. It's just very serviceable to the story.
Yeah, I feel like if the whole movie was just that, we wouldn't be talking about it. It's because of the twist is the reason why like it's kind of interesting to talk about the movie, right? And I think
exactly.
I mean, if you got anything else to say about the story, we could start talking about the twist.
Let me see. I'm trying to look at my notes. Oh yeah, okay. Like the fight scene in the end, the Dragon Ball Z fight scene that we were mentioning. I think, I don't think it's like awful. It's like it's very pumped. It has a good tempo. I can see people getting invested into this fight scene because it's like cool shit blowing up and and it's and I think that's the only part that was like where I think people had fun storyboarding, and
I mean,
or
it was really
or
cool looking. I'll give you that.
yeah, it's like I think it's just the I feel that it's like the dream sequence of the entire movie. Like it's finally seeing how these fight scenes that you've watched for years, oh, you do like a oh, you press the button and then it does like a little animation, but now it's basically I feel that was like the dream job of some animator working on
like
this movie.
when you play the RPG, it's like, yeah, you click a button, you fucking use your sword, that's it. It's like basic, like on the ground fighting. But in this movie, they make all the fights like Dragon Ball Z. People are jumping around, people are getting thrown around. You know what part was kind of like kind of was a little bit too quick was so like the main evil wizard, Bishop Laja has like two evil henchmen, right? Has like two evil henchmen, which is like the pink orc thing and the white horse guy, right?
Oh, yeah,
and they
I know what you mean.
Yeah, they were reoccurring in the movie, right? But then when we get to
to something,
when we get to the end, they just like when we get to the final battle, they just walk up to the hero ready to fight him, and he just takes them out in one hit. And I was like, wow, that was so quick. We just got rid of those guys. Like just that these guys that were reoccurring characters, we just got rid of them that quickly.
Yeah. And it's not, and it wasn't. I guess that the intention was saying, "Oh, look how he has grown," but like happened so fast, and it's so irrelevant towards the fight that they just kind of ends up anticlimactic.
Yeah,
and,
like
okay.
I like the fights, but like they're kind of like I'm kind of having trouble remembering them a little bit. Except for, like, I guess when they get Super Dragon Ball Z, and it's like, okay, this is like a sword and sorcery movie, but they're, like, fighting like Dragon Ball Z, you know?
No, yeah. I think at least, I think that there's, like, there's value in the fight scene, at least.
What do you think about, what did you think about the part where it's like, okay, now we gotta go to the fairy realm?
Oh, that's also a part that's being foreshadowed. That foreshadows the ending. This just happens to be this time around. Like again,
it's the little yellow ball thing he has, right?
Yeah. It goes. It's just like the dragon, like the Dr.
Agen. Yeah, Dr. Agen. Yeah. He was also in the game too, but he looked way different. He looked way different in the game.
Yeah, Dr. Agen says in the movie, you have to fight the robots that protect that protect the fairies. And I said, fairies is a little bit random. Like it's like a little wink, nudge, break the fourth wall, right?
Yeah, this is what Dr. Agen looks like in the game.
Oh, that looks way cooler. Holy shit!
That looks kind of like, but like everyone in the game looks like medieval characters, right? Like they're ancient times. But then Dr. Agen shows up and he's just like a regular dude. He's like he looks like a side character in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
He looks like he could announce like the Budokai fights.
Oh yeah. I think he looks like him actually.
And then his design in the movies is like a regular white beard guy with glasses, right?
Yeah.
God. You know who else design I also liked in the movie? I liked Rodrigo's design.
Rodrigo
Briscoletti.
Oh yeah, the little goblin man. Yeah.
He I like it. His design in the original game is like very like pompous and out there, but I like how they kind of maximize like his pompousness. You know, like they get the big ruffles and everything, right?
Yeah. No, and also he's he looks like a table. Like he looks like a table to me. I don't
He
know.
looks
I
very
don't know that.
he looks very Italian. He looks so Italian.
Yeah, I'm part Italian, so I would know.
I mean, I think his last name is Italian, right? Briscoletti.
Yeah, Briscoletti. I wouldn't know.
Okay, so like
So
in
I
the
think
game,
it's time.
someone yeah, go on.
Oh no. I thought we were gonna continue to the finale talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
the
Well,
candies.
I just want to mention really quickly that in the game, when you in the game you play as a kid and then like you time skip to when you're an adult, right? And when you're a kid, you actually go to the fairy realm, right?
Mhm.
And then you have like an adventure there, and then when you're an adult, you go back to the fairy realm and you do the whole time travel bullshit. You know, I kind of wish they took advantage of the time travel shit. Like maybe they should have made that like a bigger plot point, right?
Maybe.
Like what if you went back in time and saved his dad?
That'd be crazy.
Like there could have been like a twist that it turns out that the reason why everything is fucked up is because he went back to save his dad or something. Like they could have used that way better, but like it was just kind of like
yeah.
it was just kind of like a tool. It just like happened. Like, oh, we need the ball, so we better go back in time, you know. And they do that. They do that in the game too. So in the game, like the whole time travel thing isn't like crucial.
I understand. Like, no. It feels again. I think it's just a part of trying to adapt. It comes from trying to adapt the game into a movie because because guess what? Because it's just one thing less. Like, oh, we can finally go and defeat the bad guy. But oh no, there's one thing less that you need to do before we can do it.
There's one more side quest we got to go on. We don't got enough XP.
Yeah, exactly. To get enough XP and that's pretty much it. That's the only.
I mean, you gotta grind. Like in
reason.
Dragon Quest, you have to grind. Like it's required
you
for you
have
to
to
grind,
grind.
which is so annoying.
So I think it comes from from the fact that it's an adaptation to a movie, basically, to a movie, and it's they just do not bring anything. They do not try to rewrite anything from it. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to be.
They don't depart too much from the story. They just need to rewrite anything to make the story go by faster. That's like the main priority is to make the story go by faster, right?
Yeah,
which is,
but it's not. But it's nothing that entertaining. There's nothing that ingenious. They do not take like any nuance on the plot.
Like,
they just do not do anything. I don't know.
The best way to watch the movie is that every time a scene ends, you pause it and then you play a little bit of the game, and then once you get to a certain point, you go back to watch the movie, and you do that back and forth because they're cutscenes. All you're doing is watching cutscenes. So you got to treat the movie like cutscenes, you know. Someone should do an emulator where they splice like scenes from the movie into the game, you know, because like it's there. Like they should just remake it for the Switch, and then just add They just add the movie into the game as cutscenes.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Definitely, that'll be one.
Right.
But okay, now.
Okay, now let's talk about the real reason to watch this movie. Like everything we just told you, like who gives a shit? You could have lived the rest of your life without ever seeing that. We got to talk about the real stuff, like the twist. All right. I think okay. So I'm just gonna describe the audience what the twist happened. So like in the end, they beat the evil wizard guy, and he sacrifices himself to open up the gate to release his evil dark master, like Nimzu, right? And then,
Nimzo.
and then they're all like, "Oh, all we gotta do is to stop Nimzu is to like destroy the gate with the chosen one sword, right?" So they literally throw his son into the hole, into like the little black hole in the sky, to like stab the gate, right? And he throws like his legendary sword into the hole, and that destroys it. And they're all like, "Oh yeah, we won."
It closes.
Right, it closes, and then out of nowhere, this giant like stack of like pixels just stab through reality out of the hole, and everyone freezes except for the main character. And then this like weird kind of like digital pixel like weird monster shows up and tells the main character, "Hey, this is a video game."
Right? It's the most.
It's really what the fuck. When it happens, it's like, what the fuck? I
What the fuck are you Are we going here? Are you saying? Are you wanna
Like-
be mad about this?
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that everyone who was talking about the movie on Twitter never spoiled it. Like they're all saying like the movie was decent until the twist happened. The twist killed the whole movie, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta actually watch the movie, right? Before I get spoiled.
That was,
and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
That was the reason. No, that was the reason I watched the movie because a friend she watched it and said, oh shit, kind of bad. It just made the movie that ending made a movie that was like the most
like it made this mediocre movie like 10 times more interesting.
Yeah, this mediocre movie even more mediocre. Like this is just like no, even not even more mediocre, even more interesting. Like it's just worth talking about because it's
the movie's mediocre, but it's worth talking about. You're right.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so anyway, this thing that shows up, this like final monster, is like a virus created by like a troll.
Yeah.
That because
it's
actually, the whole movie was actually just a VR game played by this kid, right? Which kind of like they kind of hinted at that because every moment that's kind of like becomes very video gamey where you see like a text box every time like in this
the part where with the wife mechanic appears and there's like a pixelated the wife mechanic appears and he goes into the subconscious
he goes into
world.
like kind of like this weird matrix kind of place. Like he has this dream where he goes like into the weird like matrix of the game, and like he finally gets to choose his wife. Like he chooses like he wants to marry Bianca, right? And that what kind of happens, right? So rewatching the movie, I kind of realized how fucked up that is, right? Because so when this happens, we get a flashback to the teenager like playing the game because he's at some weird kind of like VR like amusement park place where you could play a Dragon Quest game, right? And
it's like an amusement park, and it's like because apparently I think and it's like a few hours. Like God, the lines.
The whole game is
awful.
It must be crazy fucking long, right?
Yeah, they must be crazy fucking long. But anyway,
you might have to reserve. I feel like you might have to reserve a spot. You know, like you reserve a spot online, and then they'll tell you like, we're gonna do your playthrough at this time, so you better show up, right? That being said, there's a lot of very fucked up implications of the VR, right? So like for one, like the first thing the guy tells him before he enters the VR chamber is that we're gonna erase some of your memories, so you have a better immersion experience. That's really fucked up that they can erase your memory.
Yeah. They will erase your memories, and you will feel what the hero is feeling. Like that's kind of fucked up. Like,
it feels like some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, like Black Mirror. Oh no, bad technology, bad. Oh shit.
What is?
No, this is supposed to be but this they're showing this as the utopian. This is kind of like unironically like bad technology though. Like imagine if before you do the VR you have to sign like a waiver that's saying we're legally allowed to erase your memory. Like what if like how does that work? Like let's say you're like playing the game and in the middle of the game it crashes and you like get out of the game but you still don't have your memories. So do you still think you're like a medieval like Dragon Quest hero like in the real world or something? I don't know. I wouldn't know exactly.
That would been
again. It's just
that would have been a better idea for a movie.
Yeah,
there's so many what ifs that they could have gone that would have made this movie like 10 times better. Like I kind of do like the idea that like that the main character is kind of pathetic, that he's kind of like a loser playing like Dragon Quest for like the third time, and
like.
But what's kind of like go on.
No, the third time. It's just revealed. It's just revealed to us. But that recontextual. The thing that I don't like about it's that it completely recontextualizes the entire movie. It makes it kind of worse.
It makes it kind of gross. It makes the movie like
gross.
very,
Like,
very gross. Like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
You know?
Like for example, like going back to the wife mechanic,
Right.
Like it turns these characters that are supposed to be like. They are supposed to be these female characters that are supposed to be like oh no, like stories in an organic characters in an organic story. They just become toys to the protagonist at all. They just become like these things to just your waifus. Like literally,
They're codes. They're coding. They're codes. They're not real people.
Yeah, they're coding, and they're just like the waifus of this protagonist. That
yes.
You don't see you don't see these girls through your lenses. You see them explicitly through the lenses of this loser character that's in the game, and it's saying and it's trying to say gamer moment, like oh no,
real gamer moment.
Yeah, it's like gamer moment, like no, gamers do matter, games matter, and then it's
rewatching the movie. Okay, so like how he defeats the virus is that so apparently the whole time that little like slime sidekick that he had with him was actually like an antivirus that was following him around, right?
Yeah,
and he has like the way to stop the virus, right? And before he like kills the virus, he's all like, what was that?
He made a vaccine. You must finish your game.
You gotta finish the game. You gotta buy our games. That's the only way to stop the virus. You gotta show how unpathetic you are by buying Dragon Quest games.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can't see that.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. That because like I mean, he literally says like, no, my NPC wife and my NPC son are real. My NPC dad, they're all real to me. You can't take this away from me. And then he kills the virus with his even stronger Chosen One sword.
Yeah, that's exactly. They made the Chosen One narrative. It's just it turns the nuance of the original game and turns it back into him. Like now he really was the Chosen One to because it's your story, you know. You are the important person.
You are a chosen one because you bought our game. That's why you're a chosen one.
Yeah.
You bought your way to being the chosen one because you played this game 5 million times, right? It's so
you play the game. You own all the figurines. You own everything we make. Your room is filled with slime tokens, with slime
with slime plushies. You got all the slime fucking merchandise, the slime shirts, the slime butt plugs. The slime controllers,
the slime butt plugs, the slime controllers, the dojins, the porn that some other people make. You are the true Dragon Quest fan.
You know he has the Dragon Quest dojins. He has all the ones where Bianca gets raped by the horseman.
Definitely,
that's a very popular topic.
Yeah, that's I think. Anyway.
Okay. All right. My bad. My bad.
That's a really awkward. No. It's just.
This isn't that kind of video. Anyway,
we're not talking about that kind of stuff.
Okay, so there. So there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a part in the middle of the movie where so in the flashback of when he before he enters the VR, he says that like, oh, this time I'm gonna marry Nera, right? Like. This time he's going to choose Nera as his wife, right? And in the actual movie, he picks Bianca, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like
he wants to he wants to quote unquote spice it up,
right? Which is like so like weird, right? Like what is the movie trying to like say? Like did the game make him choose Bianca? Because it kind of seemed like it did, because like Nera, like, okay, so the reason why like Luca chose Bianca is because like after like Luca like proposes to Nera, later on in the night after he encounters like a drunk Bianca, he meets like a little witch character, and this witch, who looks like something Akira Toriyama would draw, right?
Yeah.
This witch.
Love that design.
Yeah, I do like the design too. It looks like Roshi's like a sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this witch. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this witch, she goes up to Luca and says like, "Oh, do you really love Nera? Drink this potion, and then you'll figure out if you do." So he drinks the potion, and in his dreams, he enters like the game matrix, and he picks Bianca, right? And then later on, after he proposes to Bianca, he sees the witch again, and he thanks the witch, right? Anyway, it turns out like, and then the witch leaves him, and then the witch reveals to us that she was Nera the whole time, disguised, right? So Nera like cucked herself, right? Okay, that being said, there's like one line that the witch says that kind of like fucked me up a little bit. Like rewatching the movie, this one line kind of makes the whole thing like it shows how much of a hypocrisy the whole thing is, right? Mm-hmm. Because like the witch tells Luca that this exact line. She tells him that never lie to yourself. You'll never be happy that way. And that is like that literally spits on the face of the whole like the final thing that Luca says before he kills the virus, where he says like, no, my wife is real, my son is real, all this shit is real to me, it's just another reality, right? But it
was just another reality,
right? But then the witch is like, never lie to yourself, you'll never be happy that way. What the fuck?
That's the thing. Like that's the thing. No. It's you don't get it. No. You don't get it. It's because they are. It's okay. It's okay to lie to yourself if you buy our games. That's it.
It's okay to lie to yourself as long as you bought a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah,
we could give you so many bullshit messages, but but the only correct message is buying Dragon Quest games.
Exactly.
You know what kind of fucked me up?
No, buy everything. Buy everything from Square Enix.
Sell your soul to Square Enix. Like, okay, so if you watch like the very end of the movie after you skip the credits, there's like a final text that says, "Go continue your adventure," right? What are they saying with that? They're literally saying, "Go buy Dragon Quest games." Hey, you like this movie? Well, maybe you should go buy Dragon Quest V on the Switch shop.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
I don't think they have it. I think they just have the first 3 games.
Well, they probably should have. It would have been a good way to get more people in, right? A good tie-in, right?
It would be a good tie-in, yeah. So the thing is that this is basically the thing that I don't like about the movie. Like what you said was like very interesting. I didn't even notice. Like the.
Oh yeah, I cut on the rewatch.
Like, how? Yeah. It just I think. Yeah, it's a very hypocritical move on it, but it's basically kind of odd because this is tapping into a debate that has been done for generations, like for decades of trying to see what's the value of art itself. Mm-hmm. What's the value of getting invested into a story? What's the value of getting putting yourself, like immersing yourself into it, like it's escapism of media itself, and that's like a very interesting, very nuanced debate and conversation that can go to many different places, but because it's such a drag. It's such a drag because it boils it down it just boils it down to, oh no, a bully's telling you to not play the game. You dummy.
You gotta prove him wrong by buying more games.
Exactly, and it's like the commodification of that debate into into benefiting the company itself. It's not. They do not want you to make you to make you. It doesn't make you want to think more about it. They just give you exactly what they need you to hear. That is just continue buying this. You know.
I mean, I think escapism is good. Like,
I think escapism is good.
It's good. Like there's some good to escapism, but once like a corporation tells you specifically that their version of escapism is like the good one, like this is the one you gotta like spend your time doing, that's when it kind of like feels very gross, you know?
Exactly. It feels gross because because escapism is a very personal. It's a very personal experience that only you can get. Like that. This is why I think this is one of the reasons I think all of art is subjective. It's very subjective at all. But
if you find escapism with like Dragon Quest V, that's fine. But I think there's something.
Yeah,
I think there's something like gross about like buying every single remake and then playing the future VR game, like just the same escapism over and over again. I don't know. That might be telling about this character's life. You know, like this movie could have been interesting. What was that?
Did you like that you live in reality, or do you just need? You just wanna? If you need like constant escape, there's like there might be something there that like you have an actual problem with. You know. Yeah, I don't like. I don't think it's within a problem within the person itself, but rather again, many of what's surrounding him. Like, why would it's so bizarre. It's of the environment he is in, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that could have been an interesting movie. That could have been like, so you know how like in the Lego movie, there's like the Lego world, and then there's like the real world, where like the message is like there's like a physical person the message is hitting to, like, you know, like Will Ferrell, right? Like Will Ferrell was the one with the problem in the Lego movie, right? Like, yeah. Dragon Quest could have done something like that, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, because they wouldn't do anything to make their product like look like bad. Like, I mean, I feel like this movie would have been better. I feel like to actually perform like this idea of like there might be something wrong with you in your personal life, in your social life, if you constantly use like the same game as your escapism. Like, there's a cool idea for a movie there, but I don't think they would have done that with Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest doesn't want to seem like they're the reason. It's very
status quo.
Yeah,
it's the grandpappy of JRPGs.
Yeah, like maybe if someone made like a parody of a Dragon Quest game and they had that in the movie, then they could have explored those ideas, right?
Yeah, it's because escapism is just like, it's just a very good, again, it's a very good thing. Like, okay, for example, I have the only two properties I use for escapism is Pokemon and One Piece. Those are the only ones that I use for. That I use it for.
I fucking love One Piece.
One Piece is great. I love going into that world. I love being surrounded by these ideas and this and this, but it does give me like a little bit more of an understanding of what's outside. But usually I am not. I am not like constantly into the idea of immersing myself into a product. I'm rereading One Piece because I like One Piece so much. But like if Oda came to me and was telling me about how special I am, how like it's good that I'm buying One Piece, that I'm special and all this stuff, and I should keep buying more One Piece, then that seems kind of creepy. That seems kind of off. Yeah,
it seems very manipulative. It seems kind of sinister. Like he wants to get me inside the cult of Dragon Quest. Like, oh, you're special because you're part of the cult of Dragon Quest. You play our games.
They're trying to manipulate your experiences into into enjoying. No, they're trying to manipulate your experiences into enjoying other things that will benefit their pocket, basically.
Yeah, exactly. They're all in this for profit. And you know what I think is kind of freaks me out like a little bit more is how like, so the general bad like reviews for the movie is that it wasn't exactly like the game, like it didn't follow the story beat for beat, and it's like
who
Dragon
what are these
Quest
reviews like?
I can't remember, but that was like the most common review I saw.
Okay, like in Letterboxd, random people. Or
like mostly
IGN,
on Twitter,
or...
mostly on Twitter. That's what I was seeing.
Okay.
That people were kind of upset that it wasn't exactly like the game, which is kind of like freaky. It's like the fans only want the same game over and over again. I mean, the Dragon Quest games are all the same, really. Like they haven't really changed.
They have. I just it's to me a lot. I mean, a lot of the game mechanics are different, but the story is just the same. Beat for beat, it's like when I was playing Dragon Quest 3 and then I played Dragon Quest 11. When I was playing Dragon Quest 11, I just felt this is like really bit for beat, almost the same exact story. Like you have like 6 orbs you have to collect. There's a chosen
in
one.
In the first game there was like 1 orb you had to collect, but with every other game they always add an extra orb. They always add an extra Dragon Ball.
Yeah. The thing is that they're not 7 Dragon Balls. They're only 6. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's the
difference in this game. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. It's a very ugly.
It's very kind of like gross movie, but I feel like there's a lot of good ideas. I feel like they could have expanded more on the whole. It could have been a commentary on like people's obsession with playing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. There's definitely like that, because I do kind of agree with the idea of maybe the troll saying. Maybe you're playing a little bit too much of Dragon Quest. Like I know you.
Like the troll was the good guy. The troll was the real hero of the movie. maybe, but like again, it's more of a nuance. It's more of a nuanced debate. It's a very nuanced debate. That's why I kind of see both of the sides, like more of God, I feel like such a centrist. That again, see both of the points of the debate. You know what would have been a cooler movie is, okay, so like let's say it's like starts like the movie starts and he's already like in the middle of his Dragon Quest adventure, right? And then then he's forced out of the game, but since at the start of the game they made him lose all his memories, he's like a weird medieval guy in like modern Japan, right? And he's all like, "Well, what's going on? I gotta go save the world from Nimzo and Lady and Bishop, right?" But they tell him like, "No, you're actually like a weirdo nerd who just played like this VR game, right?" And then like, since he's like a new person now because he got his memories erased and he thinks he lived in medieval times, he could look at himself outside of himself, and he's all like, "Wow, I guess I was a weird. Wow, this person who I used to be is like a weird nerd person, right?" So like. Maybe it's better if I learn from this and become like a different person. Maybe losing my memories was like a good thing or something. And that could have been that's my fanfic Dragon Quest movie.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much that's pretty much that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the ending. I really want this video is gonna be like the flagpole video talking about the Dragon Quest movie, because it doesn't look like anyone's done something like this. Hopefully, I mean, I'm just like a random guy online that pretty much trusts anything and anything. Just I used to video reviews. I used to do video reviews.
I know, I get it, and we all dabbled in video reviews. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it like a really clickbait title, like, I don't know, "Sell Your Soul to Square Enix." Like Square Enix wants you to sell their soul or something, right? Something like that.
The worst movie of all no, just the worst
Dragon
Dragon Quest, the worst film of 2019.
2019 Dragon Quest, your story wants your soul.
Yeah, wants your soul. That's just a theory.
A game
theory.
Thanks for watching. All right, okay.
Yeah.
You have any final thoughts, or is that all you got to say? I think I went through all my notes.
I just feel that this is such an ugly thing to do to like the understanding of art, just manipulated into just the profit of.
But it's a visually good looking movie. Yeah, it's a visually good. It's visually good looking, but underneath it's just gross. It feels nasty.
It's a nasty movie. Yeah.
God, that's
pretty much my thoughts.
All right. Okay. So anyway, yeah, this was Cheesymanfredo talking about Dragon Quest. Your story, Perplexed Cam. Where can they find you, Perplex?
Pretty much you can find, if you're interested in my film opinions or like general whatever I tweet, just go into my Twitter. I've been meaning to go back into making video essays. I want to make video essays. It's like something I've always wanted to do. Like just talk about the things I like about animators that they're not very known. Like whenever people just go into animation, they usually just think about Genndy Tartakovsky, like voices in animation, Genndy Tartakovsky or Brad Bird, but I think that's just such a small.
There's so many animators. There's so many animators. Right?
Yeah,
and
there's
Perplex,
so many.
And Perplexed Cam is going to start his channel, which will be linked down below in the description and in the comment section. Yeah. So if you want more of that, if you want more Perplexed opinion, you can go follow him.
Yeah, there's some videos there. I don't like them anymore, and they're bad. They're really bad because they were made like 5 years ago. But oh Jesus! But I'm trying my best to just finish my review and just record something and have like a new aesthetic.
Cool. You could also follow.
I'm animating the opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm also animating an opening for my video reviews.
Oh, nice! And you're gonna post that on your Twitter, right? Where we could also follow you. It'll be down there. Perplex Cam is also a really good artist. I like all their
Perplex
stuff.
Art.
Yeah, Perplex Art, which will be linked down there too. So yeah, remember, check that out. And remember, this is Dragon Quest, your story. Haha. This is about
Make
you.
The most of it. About you.
You fucking loser. You piece of shit. You stupid. Why the fuck do you buy the same game over and over again? You're awful. You're terrible.
Get a life, you loser. Get a life.
Grow up, loser. You're fucking
grow
gross.
up, loser. Yeah, you're gross. Like, go into your Bianca Dojin and read it. Read it over and over again.
I'm gonna hack into your game and I'm gonna take your waifu.
Yeah, you won't be able to access the wife mechanic anymore.
Take away all your wives. I'll make your waifus marry each other, and you won't be a part of that.
Yeah, lesbians.
Right. Okay, yeah, I think we're done.